Am I the butthole for banning my neighbor's crazy kid from seeing my child? My daughter has been friends with the daughter of a coworker of mine since pre-nursery. They were in the same playgroup, same nursery, and are now in the same primary school. This girl has developmental issues and can't interact with others her age. She clings to my daughter and won't let her play with other children. She has bitten and thrown things at my daughter in the past when she doesn't get her full attention. The school is trying to set up a plan for her, but in the meantime she has to attend regular school with no assistant to give her the help she needs, as the previous assistant left. My coworker lives on the same street as me and is in a senior role. Which is why I have gently tried to make excuses for her daughter to not come to our place. I have outright lied on a few occasions saying my daughter is ill, and I found out yesterday she has kept a log of all the times I have refused to have her daughter over at my place. She came by knocking on my letterbox to drop her off for a few hours as she had heard from her daughter that my daughter was having a get-together with her friends. I tried to nicely deny that, telling her my daughter was feeling poorly, but she actually pulled a log saying she knew which girls had entered my home and to let her daughter in. I was mad at her, so I locked her out and told her they wouldn't be playing anymore. She was talking through the letterbox demanding to know why I wouldn't let her play with her best friend. I told her I understood her desperation, but that due to past incidents I thought it no longer to be safe for them to share the same space, and that I would let the school know that I was not okay with them always pairing them up on projects, as my daughter has always been the nice girl, and done what the teachers has told her, and made their lives easier by doing their work for them. I understand she was angry and perhaps exhausted. Carer exhaustion is a real thing, but I felt in that moment that watching her a few times a week for years and making my underage daughter her caretaker to be highly unfair. My coworker has 2 adult children that live close by, and she has children that are older than this girl from her second husband she lives with. Why can't she arrange between them or find her a support group? To this she made a masked threat that she is good friends with my senior manager. I told her to get out of my front garden and that my daughter wasn't her maid. I do regret it a little, as this girl has no other friends. The days my daughter is not in schools due to actual illness, she has no one to play with, and often after an illness or other absence her teachers have told her that they are glad she is back to play with this girl. It's a weird situation to be in. Update. I had a meeting today with the school because I had to stay behind for my sick child, and phoned the principal directly in the morning to get to talk to him for an urgent matter. The principal asked me to come in for an informal chat after school. I haven't had a lot to do with him in the past, but he seemed civil back when we first enrolled our daughter and he came to greet the class. He had invited her class teachers too. After hearing out my side and what had happened, he listened to the teachers. They said they understood that my daughter was overwhelmed, but thought it would be bullying if she refused to work with her, saying that they rather my daughter does her best to include her in activities at school and then gets free time from her when she goes home. In other words, wanted to put the blame on me for allowing the other girl into our home, while wanting to continue to use my daughter as her assistance. They tried to praise her for effort to include and guide this other girl. It got on my nerves, and I told them in no uncertain terms that my daughter was not to be expected to do their jobs for them. Luckily the principal intervened and agreed with me that they needed another plan for this girl. Before leaving I told them that my solicitor would send them a letter on what had been discussed and in the future to not pair her up with this girl. I much rather they move this girl out of the class than my daughter, as she has made few friends in this class. I also told them that I was taking this issue to HR, as it was a combined issue both in the public and private sphere. I texted her mother and she texted me back. She stupidly confirmed the log and other things, including wanting to encourage my daughter to hang out with hers. It should be smooth sailing with HR. Solicitor was contacted before I went to the school. Solicitor advised to write a letter to the school as someone else had advised in terms of my child being bullied into being a carer. A letter was drafted for HR too, and the conversation I had over text with her mother for evidence. I'll be giving it to HR Monday morning. I also sent my senior manager a heads up about what was happening in case she tried to shield for her friend. Mentioned solicitor and how the case was going to progress with school administration. She seemed to come across as supportive. I have told my daughter to let the teacher know loud and clear that she won't work with this girl if they pair her up and to report back to me every time they try to do it. We'll see what comes of it now and if the school will keep up their end of the bargain. Update 2. Yesterday I had a meeting with HR and the mother of the child was called in. We both had the option to have someone else sit in on the meeting for support or a rep, but we both declined. My manager, on the other hand, was made to sit in. I don't think she was very happy about it due to her workload. HR tried to make it comfortable for all, but getting a solicitor was the best thing I could have done. HR made notes and put it on official record that despite this taking place outside of work, they could and would deal with her at work if she tried to leverage her friendship over my job security. My manager said she isn't very friendly with her outside work, but that she would like to keep a good professional relationship with her going forward if she remains. She backtracked on the masked threat and tried to emotionally manipulate the room by bringing up her daughter's struggles. HR stated that that part of it had nothing to do with me or the company, and that they expected her to stay professional at work. They advised her to put pressure on the school to provide her with the right tools to make it through. They offered her 1 week unpaid to spend time with her daughter if she needed it, and encouraged her to use that week to take her daughter to various clubs for children with special needs so she could form bonds with children similar to her. I was not given an apology by HR, but they made her give me a written apology and a verbal one. My manager said she was happy with my work and would continue to support me in her capacity as a manager. I had a phone call from the school this morning. There was a small incident between this girl and my daughter, but they dealt with it and didn't want me to pick up my daughter so the other girl could see changes happening. For now that girl won't be in class for the rest of the day, and at break time the dinner ladies were making sure they were not playing together. My heart hurts for this girl because she is basically alone now, but I have to think of my daughter first. The school has scheduled my husband and I and her parents for a meeting together with the principal, my solicitor, their teachers, and a school rep. We will see how quickly things change as they are technically still in the same class. Thank you to all that shared your own similar experiences and helping me navigate this. I am hopeful that things will be better going forward. That's where the story ends. Please consider subscribing to keep up to date on this post and other daily Reddit content.